Hey, James Gilmore. Hey, Kim Anthony Fluid. Happy birthday. I miss you. We got to get together. Happy special edition Sunday. Yes. Welcome. It's more value. Yes. Yes, Keith. We gotta do a Harlem visit. Yes, welcome. Welcome to the special edition dannIGeeLive Sunday. Yes, we're back. Yes. Let me throw up some photos of my guest today. Yes, come on. Let some more people come into the room and we'll get it popping. I miss being here with you guys. Yes. Cheers. See what else we have. Yes. Beautiful. That's Chalvar, kids. Hey, Blue Jay music. Yes. Welcome. Yes. This is my guest today, guys, Chalvar Monteiro. He is absolutely dreamy and amazing. Okay. Yes, beautiful. Hey, Nasha Thomas. I can't wait to see you in person again. Hopefully soon. Yes. One more photo and I will get started. Yes, because he is just incredible. Oh, wait. I mean, really? Really? I haven't been able to do that in 30 years. Okay. Yes. All right. One last one. Yes. Beautiful. Look at that face. I love it. Yes. Chalvar. Let me turn this down so you guys can hear me. Yes. So welcome to the Sunday special edition of dannIGeeLive. I've missed being here and doing these IG lives. I have so much fun doing them. But you know, life is happening again and the city is opening up. My summer stage festival started. In fact, we had an amazing show last night in Coney Island Amphitheater with a great legendary Gloria Gaynor. And thanks to all my friends who actually came out to Coney Island, especially my dear friend Michael Thomas, who spent the whole day with me, literally running around the boardwalk and then at her sound checking all of the above, and as well as DJ Stormin Norman, who did an incredible 90-minute set before Gloria came on. So shout out to all of you that watched either on the live stream or came all the way out to Coney Island. But also just really quickly, I want to say prayers and shout out to the loved ones and family and friends and fans of the great Biz Markie. Come on, 57, way too young. So just prayers up for his family, his fans, his loved ones, and also to the people. What is going on in this world? Climate change is real, people. Belgium and Germany, these floods, these rains, these storms, oh my goodness. And as well as prayers up for the people of South Africa and Cuba and Haiti. And just us here in America, just so much going on. So just pray for your fellow man, be kind to your fellow man, and just live life with joy, and if you can. And stay safe out here, because clearly we are still fighting this pandemic. I won't tell you what to do for your health in terms of, you know, vaccinations or not. That's your personal choice. But please just stay safe and try to keep the spread of this awful pandemic like this. Let's just get rid of it. Let's be done with it. So I'm so glad to speak to this guest today, Chalvar Monteiro, especially as next Sunday, I'm having my first dance event back at Summer Stage Dance Is. So I'm so excited. But This is my special guest today. Hi, Gabe. Hi, May. Oh my God. So, Chalvar Monteiro began his formal dance training at Sharron Miller's Academy for the Performing Arts and went on to study at the famed Alvin Ailey School under the direction of the late, great Denise Jefferson. He received his BFA in dance from SUNY Purchase, where he performed works by Merce Cunningham, Helen Pickett, Doug Varone, Dianne McIntyre, Kevin Wynn, and Paul Taylor. Since graduating, Mr. Monteiro has worked with Sidra Dance New York, Elisa Monte Dance, Keigwin Company, BODYTRAFFIC, and as well as A.I.M by Kyle Abraham, which is where he and I first met, and we'll get into that when he comes on. He has also assisted Kyle Abraham in setting and creating work for Barnard College, Princeton University, Emory University, NYU Tisch School of the Arts, Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, and Wendy Whelan's Restless Creature. Mr. Monteiro, Chalvar, was a member of Ailey too and quickly joined the main company in 2015. He was also selected recently as one of 75 dancers worldwide to participate in the Merce Cunningham Trust's Centennial event Night of 100 Solos back in 2019. Okay, that's a lot for this young man. I'm so excited. I'm also excited because, let me get out of this screen so I can go and find him and bring him in, that he is a native of New Jersey, which is, as you can see, I'm in a different place today. I'm in Jersey City at the Boo Cats, who's in the background cooking. Okay. So let me go find Mr. Monteiro Chalvar and bring him in. Yes, I cannot wait to talk to him. I'm such a fan of his dancing. And there it is. So. How are you, beautiful?
I'm so well. How are you?
I'm so excited to talk to you. I mean, we've
too.
never had any extensive conversations together, but I am just, and I can say this without pause, such a fan of your dancing because, you know, I come from the school of balls to the wall dancing. I'm just saying, so you know my history. And ever since I've seen you, especially more so with the Ailey Company, just such a fan. And whenever you step on that stage, it's with full intent, full love and joy, full focus, full energy, and just all of the above. So welcome to my show, and thank you for doing this. Hey, Kalia Campbell, I see you joining.
Thanks for having me.
I'm
Hey,
gonna get you more
y'all.
too. Hey, family. So first of all, hello, and thank you for doing this on this Sunday because I know you're back to work. But tell us how you are, tell us how you've been, and what this past year and a half has been like for you.
Oh my. Well, right now I'm just happy and grateful to be back at work and to have structure and form back into my routine, having some incentive, looking forward to a return to the stage soon with my Ailey family. And it's also just been nice to reflect on my career just thus far. Like listening to you read my bio, I was like, wait, boy, you done did some things.
Exactly.
You did some things. But,
sometimes we have to look back and look at, and because we're so busy pushing and grinding, like sometimes it's nice to take a moment to go, oh yeah, I did that. Oh yeah, I did that. Toot your horn, baby, toot your horn.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's been super, super nice to reflect on all we've been able to accomplish and also just to enjoy the fruits of our labor while we can and to give ourselves flowers and not wait for somebody else to do it, which has been really nice. This pandemic has been great for that reason. It's been nice to reconnect with family, with self. I got a puppy during the quarantine, so that was cool. I also started, I became faculty over at Tisch School of the Arts as an adjunct professor.
Nice.
Teaching ballet. Thank you. So that's been a nice addition to kind of inform what my performance practice looks like and kind of remind myself, what does body language look like from the front of the room? How does your energy read from the front of the room? And kind of being able to give life lessons that I also have to implement myself right now as I'm currently still performing. And yeah, it's just been really, really nice to slow down and add things to the pot that might not have had the time otherwise.
I hear that. And I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but what's the one thing that you're hoping to bring back to the stage since this pandemic or getting back into rehearsals?
I think something that I used to take for granted, like I always have intent and a goal for what a performance might look like or feel like in my body. But I think this extra layer of thoughtfulness and storytelling, and really not waiting so long to bring my own experience, like not waiting for
Mm.
permission in a sense to bring myself to the work unapologetically, and instead of asking for prompts and hoping that somebody will maybe challenge my perspective, instead just injecting myself into it
Yes.
and just like,
Yes.
ask for forgiveness later.
Right. Well, I do have to say, when I hear about, dancers now and waiting for these sort of like you said, permission to develop the story, or what's my motivation kind of thing. I
Mhm.
mean, even going back to when I was in the company, 6 years ago now, I mean, there was not enough time to always get that story. And so it's like, boo, you better make up your own, or else you're going to go out
Exactly.
there and you're going to just be, two-dimensional. So I'm so glad you're saying this, because I feel like you're already doing that. And so it's nice to hear that that's something that's you're going to think even more about, because I see
Mhm.
that clearly with your dancing. And so before I get too far into that story, because we would definitely go back to that storytelling, story ballets versus
Mhm.
non-story ballets, your name, what is the genesis of your name?
Well, so my mother named me Shalvar. She gave it the definition of gifted worshiper
Wow.
growing up. But then I went to Google, okay? And it means something very different. It means an item of clothing in Farsi. It's a
Oh
Persian
no.
language. So, the actual root of it is not so deep, but the meaning that my mother gave to it definitely resonates with me as, I feel like dance is a form of worship, and being fully in tune with your instrument and being fully present at the time is like the highest form of worship. So I'll
Mm,
take that one.
I love it. And what about the Montero? Because I don't know you're married.
Montero. Oh, so my family is Cape Verdean, which is,
Yes.
yeah, Portuguese Africans, colonized Africans.
Okay.
But yeah, so my father's side of the family is Cape Verdean. My father is a New Jersey native. He's from Bloomfield, New Jersey.
Okay.
And my mother is a native of Jamaica. She grew up in St. Anne Parish, and she moved over here in her early 20s, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then there's me, a Montclair native. Yeah.
Yes. I love that. And so, yeah, like I was saying, I'm here now in Jersey City, so probably not far from all of that. But I'm
Hmm.
always curious, as you've seen in my other episodes, how people, get started, how they know that this was their thing, and how did the dance bug bite you?
I feel like I've always had an interest in dance. I remember very vividly seeing Dance Theater of Harlem on Sesame Street when I was like
Mm.
tiny, tiny, tiny.
Mm-hmm.
And then because I couldn't sit still, my parents kind of saw that I had a bug to dance. So they put me in tap when I was really, really
Oh
young.
no.
They put me, and then like that didn't last too long. I have four sisters, so like extracurricular activities cost a lot of money for the
Yeah.
five of us. So it was like hit or miss. Most of my extracurricular things were based in the church.
Mm.
But around middle school, I was introduced to premier dance theater and learned like hip hop and things. But it wasn't until right before high school, I was like 12, 13, where I met Sharon Miller, who used to dance with Alvin Ailey. And
Oh.
yeah, she was in the company with Miss Jamison and Mazuzumi Chaya, like in the 70s, I
Oh.
want to say. She was only
Okay.
there for like a couple years before she quickly
Okay.
transitioned over to musical theater and commercial work.
Mm-hmm.
And she started a school in New Jersey that had a program with their middle school, Renaissance
Mm-hmm.
Middle School, and part of their curriculum had arts like drama and dance in the curriculum. And
Yeah.
so she saw that I like took more to the dance than the drama. And so she was like, let's put him on a trial basis. And then from there, she was like, you have a gift. Here are my standards. Ballet is mandatory. This is
Yes.
mandatory. This is mandatory. And that's where I met Adrian Armstrong,
Oh my goodness.
my first Horton teacher, Adrian
Oh my
Armstrong, and
goodness. Okay.
jazz teacher with M.A. Taylor, and like all these beautiful people. And then shortly after, I started going to Ailey in my summers. And then I graduated high school when I was 16, and I went to Montclair State University for a year.
Wow.
And then I transferred to SUNY Purchase when I was 17. And that's where I met the likes of Samantha Figgins, Ashley
Yes.
Mayu, Janelle Figgins, like all these beautiful people and faculty. And then, and that's also where I met Kyle and Sidra,
Yes, of
because they would come back
course.
and see student performances and things. And so I met Kyle
Yeah.
very early on, but I didn't really know who he was yet. You know, I was just like, he's a familiar face, but I'm not sure why I'm drawn to him or why I should know
Yeah.
him until very shortly after I graduated. You
Right.
know, just took
Boom.
off with him. Mm-hmm.
What an incredible story. Before we go on, though, I want to shout out Ashley, I think who's watching right now, who just joined the company.
Oh,
Baby girl,
yes.
you know what? You already know, baby girl. You already know. That's all
Dynamite.
I'm gonna say. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what an amazing journey. And I love that you also called out Sharron. That's also in your biography, which is on your website, that guys is linked to my bio. So if you want to see more and learn about Chalvar, please go to his website, link in my bio. But I'm all about calling out our early angels that sort of put us on that path, whether we know what we're doing or not, but they see something, and they may see more than we see for ourselves. And so I always love when people call out their angels. And so now you're dancing like full on, and you're in the Ailey School under Denise Jefferson, right? The late great. How much did we miss her?
I
And
know.
so tell me what the process is of then joining like Ailey 2. Is it an audition process, or are you invited in? Because I really never knew.
Yeah, well, okay, so
Okay, right. Ooh.
okay, so to get to when I was invited to join Ailey 2, I had auditioned for the company maybe 5 times by that point. And so on the sixth time I auditioned for the company, I didn't get the job. I didn't get invited to the Ailey 2 audition, and I wasn't invited to join the first company. And so I went right back to getting ready for a tour with Kyle. And I think
Yes.
also at that same time, Wendy Whelan's Restless Creature show was just starting or about to start. We're just talking about what the next seat calendar season looks like and all that stuff. And then I get a phone call from Troy Powell saying, like, I would like to have a meeting with you. When are you free?
Nice.
And so we meet up, and he's like, I know you already have a career with Kyle. I know that you already have something going for you, but we have a spot that's open in the company, and you don't have to give me an answer now. And I was like, I'll stop you there. Any opportunity to do revelations or work by Mr. Ailey in any capacity is an honor. It's not about whether or not it's the first or second company to me. It's really about just being able to try the work out and do something that I feel is an honor. So to some people, it looks like a downgrade, I guess. But to me, it looks like an honorable sacrifice, if you want to call it that. So I was like, I'm most definitely willing and wanting to join. And so I joined Ailey 2 in the summer of 2014. The crazy part about it was I was touring with Kyle in Marseille, the south of France, and we got back from France the night before I started rehearsal with Ailey 2. So I'm in there jet lagged and cross-eyed, trying to keep up with her.
And doing it.
I think the first day was learning like streams or something really crazy. No. Yeah, I can't remember what the first day was.
Do those counts and be on your leg.
I know. Yeah, so that's what my introduction to Ailey 2 was like. It was auditioning 6 times for the first company before I got like a soft yes to kind of just step into the building.
Yes. Well, let me take us back for a second, so thank you for reminding me about Kyle and the fact that, that 2010 performance, my first time presenting Kyle. And I'm not even sure how I first started seeing Kyle's name or where or how, but I knew I wanted to present him. And I don't know if Sophie was his agent at that point, Sophie Marcorti of Lotus, who we love. But, he wasn't quite known yet for, of course, Central Park main stage to headline. And so I said, okay, well, what about Jackie Robinson Park, a pretty little band shell in Harlem, 147th and Bradhurst. And when I tell you, I don't know if you know the backstory, but the kids came out. Mickey Shepard from the Apollo, she was still at the Apollo at that time. She came. Joel Myers-Brown from Philadelphia came up from Philly because they were like, oh, we got to see what's happening with this young brother. And so packed house. And you were on that show. You guys did the radio show about his dad.
Yes.
And it was a beautiful, beautiful performance. And I was so proud. And then to be able to, you had gone by then, but to be able to bring Kyle back as a headliner at Central Park, in 2018 was just brilliant. So you're actually, even though you didn't do so that same year, actually 2010, was I was able to present Alvin Ailey in Central Park, but you weren't a part of the company yet. So,
No, no.
but you are a Summer Stage alumni, which
Yes,
is
yes.
super cool, which is awesome. So what was that like for you, transferring from, you know, what Kyle is and the ideology into the Ailey brand, like Ailey, even though it was Ailey too, but it's still
Yeah.
Ailey, right?
Yeah. I feel it was so the biggest shift that I felt, one of the biggest shifts I felt was being in a company where, first of all, Kyle is the type of artist where it takes him 9 months to a year, if not longer, to create a work and feel good about it and then inject it into a performance space for people to see and consume. And so being able to be in an environment where there's a care for each other, there's conversation, there's process, there's character development, there's a very rich process and uncovering of the characters and ourselves. So I really felt like I was in a family, like a second family. I felt super, super safe. I
Yeah.
felt encouraged. I felt challenged, secure, all of those things. And going into a place like Ailey too, especially a company where everybody's goal is most likely to get into the first company, it was the first place where I felt like a competitive nature that I was not ever used to. Even at SUNY Purchase, everybody, even though we were all auditioning and you had to audition for everything. You could,
Right.
at the time, it's not like other four-year schools where there was a freshman piece, a sophomore piece, and so on and so forth. You could be there for 4 years and never perform if you didn't garner or hone in on the skill of auditioning and learning what it is to dress the part, to look the part, to project what your personality and strengths are in a room. And so, but it was still encouraged to have your own lane.
Right.
So I never really felt like, this is a strong word, like a venomous or like a very like competitive spirit. I
feel
never
you.
felt that before. And so that was the first thing I felt. And then the other thing that was
But they
nice
can push you in a different way though, right? I mean,
I loved it. I
yeah,
loved it.
see, I'm that person too. I want to be like, okay, let's go. And not in a
I'm like,
bad way, but
right.
you want to grow, you kind of thrive in that scenario, right?
It keeps you on your toes. I like trick bags are never, it was not something I ever really knew. Like we can say full out dress rehearsal and it's like, okay, this is what I can expect of you, you, and you, and you. And then we get on stage and I'm like, oh, there's a triple. Let me go for it. Okay. Oh, we're kicking our
Oh,
face
that's what
tonight.
you're
Oh,
bringing.
okay. And like being able to step on the gas mid-performance, like it's really fun to like kind of like keep up with your peers and just kind of go with the flow. So that I mean, I enjoy competition in that way. And the other thing is a repertory company. It was my first time being in a repertory company. So jumping from style to style in one program. The work, like the responsibility of keeping up with your body, knowing what it's actually like to rest and what it means to like listen to your body, being able to differentiate between is this a soreness or an injury, you know, like all of those things that you don't really know unless you're in a company like Ailey or Ailey 2 where the touring schedule is so rigorous. So that was the biggest learning curve. Like, how do I keep up with the demand of this job physically? Because I do
by the
like how
time you
tight
joined
knit it
Ailey
is.
2, I feel like Ailey 2 was starting to do more European circuits, right? Because prior to that, it was more like, you know, the Caribbean islands and, of course, domestic, not, you know, all across the country. But I really felt like even when I went to, I was in France 3 years ago, and I remember seeing signs for Ailey 2 in Lyon and Maison de la Danse. I was like, oh, okay. That's Ailey 1's track. But that, I mean, that's great that the company has grown to that level. So you only spent 1 year in Ailey 2, is that correct?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
From July to April, I want to say. So that was cool. So so that last audition, you know, typical Ailey structure of an audition where it's ballet and then a lot of repertory.
Right.
And that year, the audition was something like we did Toccata.
Oh, okay.
Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. We did Toccata in the audition. We did Four Corners by Ron
Oh,
Brown in the
nice.
audition, and Night Creature Adagio, and
Oh,
something
wait. They
else.
want to see the leg.
Always.
They want to see the leg.
Can you get it up? Yeah, I know.
Rick, I tell you a quick story. So in my audition, and again, thank you guys for joining us on this Sunday. And if you hear some noises in the background, that's Boo Cat. He's cooking over there, okay? Because I'm at Boo Cat's house, okay? So in my audition, the people that were demonstrating for my audition were Donna Hash. And if you guys don't know who Donna Hash is, back in the early 90s, okay, that leg was, this is her Olive Sacone, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
And Desmond Richardson. And part of the audition was, like he just said, the Night Creature Adagio. And Judith Jamis's verbatim, her words were, okay, I want to see you ladies get the legs up. Just boom. So, but for now, it's men and women that the facility, like your facility, those pictures I posted earlier, is insane, but beautiful. So I'm sorry, Toccata, Night Creature, Four Corners, and what else?
There was something else. I can't remember what the fourth thing was, but it was a lot of repertory.
Yeah.
And in my mind, so that whole day they were like, "There's only one job. There's only one contract.
Oh,
and they
wow.
told the women, "We'll call you at the end of the week. We don't know what, we have to wait until we see the men." And so I'm like, okay. So, and then also in my mind, I'm like, okay, the Ailey man looks like this, and that's usually not me because I'm sure the games we play in our minds, right? I'm like, all the things I'm telling myself, but I'm like, Ailey man, I'm in my mind, I've never really been next to them, so I don't really know if my imagination is the truth. So, but I'm thinking they want somebody tall, they want somebody muscular, they want somebody this, they want somebody that, and I'm just in here to have fun. It's whatever. I still have another year of Ailey too. If this doesn't work out, it's fine. It's fine. I'm trying to talk myself off the ledge at this point. we get to the end of the audition, and it's down to maybe 6 or 7 of us, and then they cut it down to 3 of us.
Oof.
And the other 2 men are like beautiful, tall.
Yeah.
Beautiful, tall, like look like they're ready to put somebody over their head with one arm. I'm like, well, I have fun.
Okay.
I'm ready. I'm gonna go get my stuff, and I'm gonna go meet somebody for a margarita. It's fine. Okay. And next thing I hear is, we like to hire all of you, but we can't, so we're gonna offer the job to Chalvar.
Right in front of them, they said it?
Right in front of them, yeah.
Shady.
And I was like,
hey, Kyle, but that's shady.
Yeah, I was like, okay. So yeah, they said it. They said we're gonna offer the job to Chalvar, and I was like, okay. And it just and that was it. And then they were like, oh, Robert would like to talk to you as soon as you change your clothes. And I'm like, okay. So then I go down to the office, and we have a little chit chat. And, he says a lot of beautiful things, and I'm really, really excited of just why he hired me, and about how, good work ethic and reputation and a good spirit matters more.
Pause right there. Say that again for the kids in the back.
Oh, in our talk, one of the first things he said, he's like, it's nice that you can dance and jump in and out of styles, but your reputation precedes you. The fact that you are he said to me that you're spiritually grounded, and that you don't easily get discouraged, and we've seen you come back year after year more informed and more assured of yourself. It really matters. And so that's what we're looking for, somebody who is 10 toes down.
Oh, yes.
And so that meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and work ethic. And so that was really cool. And then I went outside and called my mom, and I was like, I got the job. And she was like, you guys started screaming, you got the job, you got the job. God. And I was like, yep. And it didn't hit me yet. Like, I'm still like a little numb, I guess. And then Kristen Colvin Young, the stage manager, calls me and is like, so we don't usually do this soon, but the company photo shoot is tomorrow. We need you to take headshots. So then I start working the next day, like in a photo shoot and all this stuff. And it was the next morning on my way to the building where I was sobbing.
Oh, baby.
I was like, oh, this is it. I'm in the company now. It's not for play. This is real. I was like, this is cool. After 7 long years of auditioning, year after year, like, this is it. And so now I'm in my 7th year.
Yes.
And like, it's just really, really cool to just have been a part of this legacy and this
Oh,
cycle.
yes.
And yeah, it's been so much fun, so much material, so many friends,
Yes.
so many memories.
Yes. Well,
Hmm.
that's such a beautiful, beautiful story. And again, thank you guys if you're just joining us. This will be archived later. We can go back and watch if you missed any of this earlier part of the story. But your journey to Ailey is just that's wonderful and beautiful. And the fact that you called your mom first. I mean, like my mom is always my first call, whether it's good news or bad news. I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm either crying either way. Crying because I'm mad or crying because I'm happy. She's always the first call, and God willing, it will be for a long time to come. And
Hmm.
so I do want to talk about, the repertory, as you just said, and it's Alvin Ailey Dance Theater, right? And so
Hmm.
I've seen you in all kinds of works, from Chroma to, of course, Revelations, Divining. Oh my God, how divine were you in that lead in Divining? You were, Sharma.
Oh my gosh, that was a dream come true for me. It
Yes.
really was. I remember the first time I had seen the first Ailey DVD, or no, the first Ailey VHS I ever saw
Yeah.
was that legendary one with Divining and Stack Up.
Was that Elizabeth Rojas with that hair?
Oh yes,
Look at this.
oh yes,
Her hair
and
is a dance unto itself, isn't it? Wait, my eyes
yes.
are burning because he's over there cooking onions. Okay, I don't know what's going on over there. Okay, mascara just running in the screen. Wait, we are live, kids. We are live. It smells great though. Anyway, yes, Divining and like
Hmm.
that whole cast with like Jonathan Reisling and the late Debbie Chase.
Yes, yes. Oh my
So,
goodness.
I mean, what did you feel like knowing that you were selected to do such an iconic
Oof.
solo?
Well, first of all, the story behind that is that so I was in the first cast of the group and I was
Mm-hmm.
in the opening quartet and like loved my track.
Mm-hmm.
But I one day I was watching the ladies rehearse the solo. And so I walk up to Miss Jamison. I was like, do you mind if I just stand in the back and like maybe watch rehearsal? Like, do
You
you
better do
mind?
it. You
And
better do
then
it.
she was like, no, please go ahead, go ahead. And so I'm thinking, oh, great. So I can just watch or learn the solo how and if I want to. A week later, I'm having a costume fitting for a costume because I guess the costume for the lead is a different costume than what I would wear in the group. So I find out that I'm cast to do it at City Center, and I'm like, okay, closed mouths don't get fed, kids. So yeah, so I got to learn it, and that I
That is
mean,
amazing.
dream come true. And of course, City Center is its own experience, like
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
rehearsals
You can
all day,
act like
all
you close,
night.
dancing across the world. The minute you hit that New York stage, it's a whole other
I
shebang,
mean,
right?
I feel like I've heard you say this on your lives before, but the difference between performing anywhere else and City Center, New York audiences know good dance.
Right.
There's
Right.
no way around it. So
Right.
is your fifth crossed or is it not?
Well, they know good dance, but they also know the pieces. Like they
And they
know the
know the
repertory.
pieces.
They know the
Absolutely.
pieces. So you can shuck and jive if you want to. They were like, see, no.
Yeah, there's a standard.
This is
Um, yeah, so being able to rehearse it and just study videos and watch my peers like Jacqueline Harris and Greg
oh,
Divorce Stokes and just like Constance Stammet, all these beautiful women, and knowing that like that for that year I'm the only man to be doing this
yes.
highly coveted role was
Yes.
like amazing to
Yes.
me.
You're beautiful. And
Amazing.
I think you did it twice that first day, right?
I
Saturday
did it
matinee.
twice in one day. Hmm.
So my friend Dewan and I came to the evening show. We were like, yes, we have got. As soon as we saw that casting or you posted about it or something, I was like, Dewan, we gotta get tickets for the night that Chalvar does Divining, like bar
Jeez.
none. And so the other piece I wanted to ask you about, because I know I've seen you post about Black Boy Joy, which is why I have my little melanin T-shirt on today because I'm all
Yes.
about it. The piece Donald Byrd's Greenwood.
Yes.
And not to be too hyper political,
Hmm.
however,
Hmm.
what that piece was about, and we just had the 100th anniversary. I hate to call it anniversary, but the commemoration of
Hmm.
that massacre. But what was that process like, learning that ballet and the story? Did he give you the story, or did he want you
Hmm.
to research it for yourselves? And what was that like?
I think it was a little bit of both. I think,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, one of the most brilliant minds.
Yes.
I think the process really stretched all of us to work
Mm-hmm.
in ways that were foreign were just like a little dusty and we had to shake it off a little bit.
Yeah.
Like retrograde it and then put it on the floor and then put it back in order and I'm like, slow down, please. Yeah. And I think with each step of breaking down and building vocabulary, I think he also emphasized what the story was about and how he wanted us to approach the drama and the theater of it all. And I think that was the hardest for me, especially being the role of kind of like the catalyst of the whole thing, like the accused, you know, and you know.
But what did that do for you as a Black man, you know, who walks these American streets or in the world, really? But to know that this is something that actually could happen to you.
Well, first of all, I think this is the first time since joining Ailey that a role made me that uncomfortable.
Oh,
where I was so resistant. I was so resistant to lean in to what it felt like to like the energy of, I can't, like, it makes me uncomfortable even saying it, but like being coached on how to look like I'm raping someone. You know, how to look like, to be coached on what it looks like to take advantage and abuse somebody who also is a very close friend of mine, Danica Paulus and Sarah Daly, like looking my friend in the face, and I'm like playing the role of somebody who's abusing you.
Right.
And I think he also wanted to tell a story, you know how they say there's three sides to the truth, your side, their side, and then the truth.
Exactly.
And so I think he did a good job of trying to illustrate their dynamic three different ways. And so also in the span of 30 to 40 minutes, looking at my friend in the face, and each time I'm a different person. Right. In the same clothes, she's in the same clothes. And then also the other characters who represent white psyche and you know, the madness that goes into entitlement and rage and destruction. It was I think that whole process made us all so uncomfortable, but by the time it was put onto the stage and we started to lean in and find our legs in a sense, I think
even being in the audience, I mean, the audience too, you know, I remember watching it. And so, you know, kudos to you for doing your job, because I was angry. I was so mad at Danica. I was so mad. Right, but that's it should be like, it should make you feel something. I was so angry because, of course, if you're paying attention, you know what's going on in this world and some of the crap that goes on. These, you know, sorry to say it, guys, but these, you know, these white tears. The woman that accused our boy, you know, Keon Harold's son of stealing her phone. I mean, it's on, and it's endless. It is endless. And so Donald Byrd, I've loved how choreographers like him, even Kyle, Camille, all these people are like stepping into these politics in such an artful and thoughtful way, because we can't shy away from it. You know what I'm saying? But we're still bringing art and grace to the stage, and I mean, I can't imagine how difficult that would have been to perform. But even like a solo like Cry, which is 50 years old now, right? If you're gonna do it, you gotta bring the whole story. I mean, that middle section about her lover being a junkie and dying in her arms, or the scrubbing, you know, the blood off the floor. Just, you know, it's still an ongoing thing.
Absolutely.
And so, do you ever, like, after performing that piece, I mean, did you ever encounter anybody like on the sidewalk or the audience member that just, you know, had to come to you and say, you know, brother, are you okay? You know?
I definitely encountered that, especially I want to say, I think when we did it at Kennedy Center, I want to say, like in DC, where like it's a pretty Black audience. Very intelligent audience, and I think City Center, of course. I think City Center is a very interactive experience, like coming off stage and talking with folks. But I think DC, like, again, leaving the comfort of your home, New York, and DC is one of the first places that sees it. I think it was the first time I was like, oh, like the impact of this piece is real, no matter where it's seen. And I think what made, and I wasn't even able to receive any type of accolades or whatever about that work because it was still something I was so uncomfortable
Right.
representing. Because I think in Ailey's work, when it comes to dance theater or in Ailey's repertory, usually it's a community effort to tell the story. And I think with the set, I don't know if you remember, but the set, there are no wings. The only way you can enter and exit the stage is through this little keyhole in the back of the stage. So I don't get to see there's nobody in the wing cheering you on or just lending support. And that sometimes gets you through the whole dance.
See, Don is so brilliant. That's that psychological. He knew he was doing that to y'all, right?
He knew. Yeah, and so like something like Monster where we're all in it together. Even if it's a solo, we're all in it together.
Yes.
You know?
I used to live for Masakela Long.
That's my dance. I love that.
I used to live for that word. The sets. And my character, I didn't play any of the main characters, but I was the girl in purple in the back just hanging out. And I remember I said to Judy, "Can I smoke on stage?" She was like, "Yeah." That was the first time I ever smoked on stage. And I was so excited. I mean, I wasn't a smoker, but I was smoke. My character going to smoke. And I'm back to the smoking on stage when you could smoke on stage like a real cigarette.
Right. Exactly.
But I think that's awesome. And so then transferring to, and thank you for sharing all that about your experience dancing Greenwood, because it's a difficult piece and it should be difficult, right? If you're really doing it, it should be difficult mentally and psychologically. And so then you morph into something like, say, oh my God, wait, Busk by Azure Barton. I love you in that ballet.
Oh,
I mean, I love you in everything, but Busk? I mean, Shamar. Come on, man.
Now that one feels like a circus. Okay.
Right. It's
that one is like
circus.
Double tour, landing
it's
a split.
Such a great work. She's amazing. I have yet to book her as for summer stage, and I really want to eventually, hopefully. But you and that, I mean, the whole company in that work was really stunning. But you, especially in that solo lead role,
thank you.
know, just really incredible. And I listen, knowing the company, knowing that you typically only get like 2 to 3 weeks. Right, with incoming choreographers to get it, and then you're perfecting it on the road, really. But what was working with Azure like?
So we worked with Jonathan Ellsbury for the majority of the process, and he is a beautiful spirit, really clear and efficient repetiteur, and he did a really good job of just giving us the vocabulary and giving us imagery to work with. And then Azure came in. And like most choreographers, made it specific to each dancer. What do you need? What type of transition do you need here? And making it fit for Clifton and I shared the same role.
Right.
And so being able to Clifton.
Yes.
So being able to see the differences between our choices, but knowing that they were both intentional and specific for us. But how they still, if anything, informed the work even more moving forward.
Yes.
And I think it's another work where I think mentally it's a game because everything about her work, everything is going to your extremes in a split second, step to step to step, and figuring out how do I pace myself? How do I stretch? How do I push here? Or how do I sometimes lean into the collective and dial it back a little bit so that I can make it the next 28 minutes. Yeah, but then being able to see like James Gilmer doing that solo on the steps, or Jacqueline Harris with that money bounce solo, and just like
absolutely.
Like just all of my beautiful friends. It's a large cast.
Yeah.
And so, just doing something super athletic and seeing how the demands of the Ailey Company continue to increase over time and requires you to be able to do, at times, gymnastics, if you need it.
Right, absolutely. So that brings me to my next question, because we're almost about 45 minutes in. I know it's Sunday, it's beautiful out, and I want you to be able to enjoy some of this evening. But so I know coming up, you guys, and it's been announced, like I'm not saying anything on, out of pocket, but Lincoln Center, you guys are doing Lincoln Center as part of there you are. Okay. You were frozen for a little bit. So there's a 5-day run at Lincoln Center. It's Ailey, it's Ballet Hispanico, it's ABT, in New York City Ballet, and DTH, right? And so that'll be the first time, Ailey is seen again, right? On stage, live, in person. And so how are you feeling about getting ready for that performance. What's the first date?
The 17th.
Okay. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to it. I think, well, first of all, it's a gentle introduction to the stage because we're doing excerpts of work. Thank you,
Okay,
Jesus.
great. Hallelujah.
Yeah, so we're doing excerpts of Lazarus and am I at liberty to say? But excerpts of,
Oh, we'll be careful.
I think so. I think it's on
Okay.
the website. But
Okay.
we're doing excerpts of Revelations in one program and excerpts of Lazarus
Of
in
course.
another.
Yeah.
And so, and I'll be in both programs. I love doing Twiggy.
Yeah.
That's one of my faves. So
Sweet.
so I think I'll be able to do Twiggy, hopefully. But everything's subject to change, so we'll see by the time we get there.
Right.
But I'm really excited to just kind of feel what it's like to be on stage. But the thing I love more than being on stage are the backstage antics. And,
Yes.
like talking to each other in the wings right before going on, or, like what do you do? Like, the conversations you have while beating your face and like, all that
Exactly.
stuff. So I'm really excited to kind of have that
Oh, that's so
experience again.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
even us getting back to summer state, I actually literally just posted something this morning. I was out at Coney Island all day yesterday dealing with the Gloria Gaynor show that I booked for summer stage, and just getting there early, watching the sound check, watching the lights being fixed. And I've always been so fascinated by all that. And I remember when I first
mm-hmm,
got into Ailey, because it's such a bigger production than I was used to with Philadelphia.
mm-hmm.
I remember my first trip was to Greece, and I remember thinking, how are all the lights and costumes getting here? Like I just didn't know. And then I
Mm-hmm.
see all these trunks backstage, and I remember the late Calvin Hunt saying to me they came over by ship. I was like, wow! Like, I was just
It's
so impressed
wild.
by all of
Yeah.
that. And I love that. But like you said, like just being backstage with your
Mm-hmm.
friends, and
Yeah.
so I'm looking forward to seeing that. And but also too, before I let you go, tell me about, you know, the stuff that you're doing on the side, or future, your choreography, your modeling, like all the stuff, all the extra stuff you're doing. Yes.
yeah, so like I said earlier, I'm blessed I'll be returning to NYU to School of the Arts in the
Yeah.
fall, teaching there. I also got to choreograph and direct my first short work for the Ailey Company for our gala that came out
Oh,
in
nice.
late
Oh,
June.
that's right. I saw that. Yes. Congratulations on
Yeah,
that. I loved it.
thank
That's right. That's
you.
right. The virtual
Thank you.
gala. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, um, looking forward to more opportunities like that and modeling. So far it's been just off of the strength of whatever I share on Instagram and getting inquiries that way. But I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to more opportunities coming up with all of these things and more things I haven't even considered. I think something that I've been saying since joining Ailey is that this company is helping me achieve dreams I didn't even know that I had.
Mm,
Like
beautiful.
when I got to share, I never thought I never had a dream of like I want to share the stage with Cicely Tyson. But then I got to share the stage with Cicely Tyson for
Right.
the 60th anniversary of the company and
Yes.
like do a solo dedicated to
Oh, that's
Mr.
right.
Ailey,
Oh,
and she's sitting there beautiful in like this long white train and like
yeah, she was
all the
giving.
stones. Oh, and so to like so
I got
like
chills. Oh, that's amazing.
yeah, so I feel like this company is since joining this company has definitely kind of elevated my experience to what I used to think was far-fetched is
Yeah.
actually very tangible. And so I'm
Yes.
just looking forward to all the ways that God and the universe and Mother Earth and all of these great entities will continue to like just place these things in my lap and just trusting
Yes.
that I'm equipped to handle it
Yes,
with
you
care.
are. Yes, you
Yeah.
are. And I look back, like you said earlier, on some of the things that I've done, or people I've met, and through my travels, whether it was through Philadelphia and Ailey, and like getting to meet years ago Debbie Allen. I mean, like,
Mm,
come on. But even like Jackie Onassis, former first lady,
yeah.
and Kennedy that one year. I mean, it's just out of control, and not taking any of that stuff for granted. Absolutely not. So,
Yeah.
you know, as I always like to share with, you know, like young people on the come up, even though you're still young yourself, like, come on. I mean, everything you've done, I'm like amazed. But, you know, just any words of wisdom as these kids are getting back out into these classes, into these streets and their career, just, you know, again, your reputation preceded you, right, with your work ethic, and I'm all about that. But and it's not just choreographers that talk. I mean, it's presenters. Like, I'm a presenter, and we talk, you know, whether it's good stuff or bad stuff. So I think knowing that, for me, like, you want to have a good reputation out there. I must say, take stuff, take crap, but you know, work ethic and showing up on time, professionalism goes a long way.
It really
So
does.
just anything you want to share to anyone listening, young or old?
I mean, I really just want to echo that. I feel like that's something I've been saying this whole year at NYU. So I always say, as much as we're working to be these beautiful, pristine physical manifestations of excellence, your
Yeah.
spirit person matters just as much. So
Yes.
continue to tap into how your energy adds to or takes away from a room, because those are the
Mm-hmm.
things. And you never know who you're going to need a favor from, whether that's somebody next to you or in the front of the room. Your friends
Yes.
might be the person that connect you to your next opportunity. So don't play nice just to get along, just to get ahead, but really because you want to have a tribe of people that can support you if and when you ever find yourself in a bind, you know?
That's right.
And then I would also
Absolutely right.
say, in terms of versatility, even if your goal isn't to be in a repertory company or um, to have a job that requires you to be a chameleon, I think it still
Mm-hmm.
behooves you to try everything out and find the value in it, because it just
Yeah.
informs whatever your practices are.
Yeah.
So, you know, even if whacking or voguing or house or Afro beats might not be what you need to be an ABT, you never know. You might have to find the downbeat in a place where you can't hear
Okay.
it. You might need to create something rhythmic that you can only pull from a style that does not come from tendu close fifth. You know, so really try
That
and
is
find
absolutely
value
correct.
everywhere.
Yeah, no, that's really,
Hmm.
really, really. I was watching. What's my brother's name? Sekou. He sent me a video where he was teaching. I think I think for ABT, maybe like the school, but he was teaching them, you know, his Afro, his, you know, class, and those
Hmm.
those girls were in there, honey.
Hey.
Yes. Study everything.
Yeah,
Study
study
everything, because you never
everything.
know what you're going to need to pull from.
Yeah.
That is so fabulous and true. Well, listen, man, this has been great. So I see your hair in your bun. I love your hair. Meanwhile, I'm giving humidity realness. I, I got COVID hair. I've had trimming over a year and a half, and it's showing, but whatever. But you know, I love that mane of hair of yours. I can't wait to see it out and about. And I can't wait to see you at Lincoln Center. I'm so looking
I
forward to
can't
see
wait to
you
see
all in
you
person
either.
again.
I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, so thank you for this. And let me know if there's anything else you want to share, because your website is already shared in my link tree. And just anything else, just let me know. And I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time today.
Thank you for having me and picking my brain and just, you know, introducing me to your audience and
Absolutely, man. I
showing
love
me some
you, man.
love.
I stand for you hard. So
Oh, thank you, thank
looking
you.
forward to seeing more and more, and your choreography, because, you know, down the road, just saying.
Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah, so take care of yourself. Stay safe, stay strong, stay stretched.
You
And I will see you
too.
in a couple of weeks.
See you
Yeah.
soon. Hi,
All right.
Kyle.
Bye. Can you
Bye.
let yourself out? You're good with that? All right,
Yes.
cool. All right. Bye, Chalvar. Yes, I was Chalvar kid. So how much do we love him? So please check out his website, link trees in my bio, and also go to the Alvin Ailey website, because there'll be a Lincoln Center in the middle of August. But before we go, I actually have an extra special guest coming on as well, and she is going to come on and let us know about what she has coming up. She's also a Summer Stage alumni, performing with Movement of the People. I'm getting the name wrong, but also she performed in 2016 for a show that I did at Central Park with Tamara Kali and Ashe Dance Theater. So let me go and see if she is in the waiting room. Kendra Ross, I don't see your name. Let's see. Okay, I don't see it yet, but all right. So I'm waiting to see if Kendra Ross sends me an invitation. But in the meantime, I can tell you what she's going to come on and talk about. Thank you, Kyle. Oh, my God. Maybe you'll grace me one day. But Kendra Ross works with a dancer and a choreographer, founder and director of Stoops. And they have upcoming on the 24th, their annual art crawl in Bed-Stuy, where artists perform and present work on stoops, sidewalks, and community gardens around the neighborhood. So let me see if she has come onto the screen yet. And I'm going to try to bring her in again. Okay, so I am not able to find her. But in the meantime, what I can do, I will pull up the flyer. So that's the flyer for Stoops, which is happening next Saturday, July 24th, in Bed-Stuy. So I have the website and to the information for this coming up next weekend in my link tree. So go check it out. And yeah, so thank you again to the amazing Chalvar Monteiro. Please follow this young man. He's amazing. And when you see him dance, if you haven't already, you'll understand why I'm such a stan for his dancing. And I hope to see all of you next Sunday. Rain or shine, kids, rain or shine, in Central Park for my first and only dance presentation of the season. It's going to be packed out, starting with 6:15 with some films, and then 7 o'clock dance performances from artists from Souls of Duende, A.I.M by Kyle Abraham, Complexions Contemporary Ballet, Parsons Dance, forgetting somebody. Madison McFerrin is performing with Samantha Figgins, who is currently with Alvin, Ailey, Jessica Pinkett, and Gianna Theodore, as well as closing the show, my Philly peeps, Rennie Harris, Pure Movement. So I'm really excited, and it's going to be a blast. I'll be there just, it's going to be wonderful. We're also going to showcase some films during the show from Jacob Jonas Dance from the West Coast. So looking forward to seeing you all next week. Look at the website. Come to Summer Stage. Support us. Support everybody that's going back out there on these stages, because we've all been waiting for so long to get back out there. So I hope to see you all. And I want to give Kendra one more chance to see if she's in the room to come on and talk about what she has going on. Okay, so I don't see her, but all good. I mentioned it, and glad to be back. And hopefully I will see you all next Friday. And thank you for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. See you in the park.